Good evening, our listeners. Welcome on our video today. Today we are looking at history and government, as you can see, and this one is paper 1 out of 100 marks. And as we said on this channel, in paper 1 KCSE, they usually focus on Kenyan history, all the topics that are concerned, or they have the content about Kenya. They're the ones that are tested in paper 1 KCSE, and this work is good for Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, and even for the candidates who are preparing for the exam later this year. If this is your first time to watch our videos, kindly take a few seconds, subscribe to our channel, like our video, and turn on notification so that whenever we produce a video like this one and upload on YouTube, you will be notified for you to benefit. To the subscribers, we really want to thank you guys for the support that you've given us. You can see our channel is growing very fast because of your support. Let's go straight to the first question. You are told, name one prehistoric sites in Kenya where remains of Kenya Pithekas were located. Prehistoric sites in Kenya where remains of Kenya Pithekas were located. We have Samburu Hills, Lake Baringo, Lake Turkana Basin, and Fort Tenan. Question number 2, you are told, and remember we told you earlier that section A, it has 25 marks. 25 marks. Section B, it has 45 marks, and then the last one, that is section C, it has 30 marks. So it is very easy for you to make it by making sure you get maximum in all the sections. Let's go to number 2. You're told, identify the community that displaced Pokomo from Shungwaya. That one is Oromo. Question number 3, state one role of warriors among the pre-colonial Mijikenda. What was the role of warriors? Conducted raids, protected the community. Number 4, see two roles of Okoyot among the pre-colonial Nandi community. Number 1, they advised council of elders on matters of running of the community. Number 2, advised the warriors before raiding or waging war. Number 3, arbitrated in cases and disputes between members of the community and a council of elders. Arbitrated in inter-clan disputes. Go to question number 5. Outline 2 responsibilities of a good Kenyan citizen. What are responsibilities of a good Kenyan citizen? Number 1, participate in all democratic process in the country, like elections and referendum, to ensure good governance. Number 2, obeying the laws of the land so as to enhance peace in the society. Number 3, contribute positively one's view on issues affecting the community, like taking part in debates. Next, promote rule of law by reporting lawbreakers and those intending to break the law to the police. Next, to promote and protect the rights and freedoms of all people in the society for harmonious coexistence. Next, to maintain high moral and ethical standards in the society, fight corruption, protect proper utilization of resources for all. Next, participate in community development activities to improve the welfare of the people in the community. Next, paying tax to the government to ensure smooth financial operations. Next, to take care of environment to promote healthy living. Next, to contribute to positive development in the country through handwork, regardless of work one is doing. These ones are very simple. Next, ensure proper use of public and private facilities and property, taking care of the environment for a healthy living. Next, be mindful of other people's welfare, like helping disabled, the aged, the children, the less fortunate in the society. Next, question number 6, you're told the name one peaceful method of resolving conflict. This one they repeat it so many times. This one, to miss it in an exam is very difficult, it's very hard. So name one peaceful method. Number 1, mediation. Number 2, negotiation. It is also called reconciliation, legislation, litigation, or court system. We go to question. We also have arbitration as one of the peaceful methods of solving conflict. Number 7, we're told give 2 limitations of freedom of movement. Limitations of freedom of movement, where you are not allowed to move, or when in our country you are not supposed to move, or areas which you are not supposed to move. Number 1, areas of state security, in State House. Number 2, private farms. Number 3, during state of emergency or curfew. Next, during crisis, an area can be declared a no-go zone. Number 3. Number 5, by the government to compel one to attend court proceedings. Next, when transferring suspected persons to another country, deporting a suspect. Next, controlling a spread of disease. Next, when one is a minor. We go to number 8. Number 8, you are told name 2 rights of children in Kenya. What are the rights of the children in Kenya? The Kenyan Bill of Rights guarantee every children the rights. Number 1, to a name and nationality from birth. Number 2, to free and compulsory basic education. Number 3, to basic nutrition, shelter and health care. Next, to be protected from abuse, neglect, harmful or cultural practices, inhuman treatment and exploitation. Next, to parental care and protection. Next, not to be detained except as a measure of last resort. Go to number 9. Number 9, we are told identify 2 principles of democracy. Principles of democracy: consent of the people. Number 2, equity. Number 3, free press. This is where there is freedom of expression, or when you talk about equity, all should be treated equally. When you talk about free and fair elections, elections should be free and fair. We see elections should be transparent and accountable. The officers should be able to verify what they say is the final results. Number 10, identify 1 community that exhibited mixed reaction in Kenya. Wale ambao they had mixed reaction, that is, they resisted and they collaborated. Some of them collaborated, others resisted. You can also say others collaborated, resisted, and we have they resist, collaborate. Yeah, we have the ones who exhibited mixed reaction is Agikuyu, Akamba, and Luo. This one is a very common question. Number 11. Give one reason why oathing was administered to Agriama warriors during their resistance to the British, to unite the warriors, to give them confidence. Number 12. Identify 2 challenges faced by settler farmers in Kenya during the colonial period. What were some of the challenges that were faced by the settler farmers? These are the farmers who came from the colonial country, that is British, to come and do farming activities in Kenya. What are some of the problems they were facing when they came in Kenya to do farming? Number 1, raids by local whose land had been taken. So local people were raiding. Another one, raiding is taking by force. You enter in somebody's farm and you take away some cattle. Number 2, unwilling Africans to offer labor. There was a shortage of labor. They do not have a labor force. Number 3, because Africans were not willing. So there was shortage of labor because Africans were not willing. Because Africans also, they were being paid a very little amount of money. And number 3, lack of basic skill and experience, as many had not practiced agriculture before. The settlers were not familiar with the seasons and therefore could not predict when and what to plant. Next, shortage of capital to invest in agriculture. That is another challenge they were facing. They were unable to market their produce during the world wars. So that was another challenge. You can imagine you have the product but you cannot sell because of the war. Next, there was an inadequate transport and communication. Road and all forms of communications were not there. A network which affected the movement of the people and goods. Next, pest and animal and crop diseases, hence high costs in production. So these people, they were also facing that challenge. Pests, crop diseases. This one finally led to high cost of production. Go to number 13. 32 features of missionary education in Kenya during colonial period. What were some of the features or the characteristic of a missionary education in Kenya? It was elementary. The subject taught included religion, writing, reading, hygiene, and arithmetics. Number 2, it was industrial and technical in approach, aiming at training Africans to be carpenters, merchants, agricultural assistants, and shoe repairers. Next, it was dominational and aimed at inculcating doctrines of particular church in the learners. Number 14, give the main reason for the construction of Uganda Railway for easy movement of troops and administrators. That's why it was constructed. That is Kenya-Uganda Railway. Number 15, we almost through with section A. Identify one type of elections in Kenya. We have general election. This one is done after every 5 years. Then you have by-election, which is done after when the seat is vacant, is declared vacant. Maybe when an MP die, or when is declared bankrupt, or something else happens, and the official cannot perform their duty. Number 16, who is the administrative hand of Kenyan judiciary? That one is Chief Justice. Number 17, identify any two pillars of Nyayo philosophy. We have peace, love, and unity. Section B. This one is, which we said it has 45 marks, and you're supposed to answer 3 questions. There are 4 questions, but you're supposed to answer 3. Each it has 15 marks for you to get 45 marks, and you can get this section 45 out of 45, because sometimes it is very simple. Section A is the one that some people say it is hard, because the answers are very specific. But section B, you can even think about some points and get them correct. Let us look at number 18. Give 5 results of the migration and settlement of the Agikuyu in Kenya during the pre-colonial period. 5 results. What happened after the Agikuyu migrated and settled in the places where they settled? What happened? Number 1, displacement of some communities. That is, redistribution of population. So when they came, they displaced the people they found in the places they settled. Number 2, intermarriage with other communities. That happened. They started marrying other people, the people they found, or their neighbors. Next, expansion of trade with their neighboring communities. They started trading. Number 4, cultural exchange with other communities. Assimilation of some communities by the others. Bantus learned the art of circumcision from them, and taboos against fish eating. So there was cultural exchange. Next, it led to pressure over land. Pressure over land, hence conflict and warfare. So there was that conflict because land was scarce, therefore they started fighting for it. Then intercommunity conflict led to loss of lives and destruction of property. They started fighting, therefore many died out of that. Go to next one. Other communities learned some agricultural practices from Bantu. So they learned how to cultivate and different crops. Go to the next one. They spread the knowledge of iron working to different parts of Kenya. Let's move to B. 18B. Describe the social organization of Nandi during the pre-colonial period. Social organization of Nandi. This is a community that you will get in Rift Valley. Write in the comment section, in which group do they belong? Is it Bantu, is it Nilotes, or Kushites? In the comment section down here. So what was their social organization? How was it? How are they living socially? Number 1, the family was the smallest social unit. Number 2, they had age set systems. Next, and you can see them here, they are listed here. Age set system. Next, the hand initiation was marked by circumcision for boys and girls, and thereafter the boys were grouped in 2 age sets. Next, the hand ceremonies to mark change from one stage to another. This was the circuit or Pieto, the slaughter of bullock. Marriage was polygamous and exogamous. Polygamous, marry many wives. Exogamous, you marry from other clans, not your clan. Next, they believed in a creator god who was called Assis. Next, they prayed to God through ancestral spirits. They had a class of specialists like prophets and medicine people. Next, they had religious leaders with Okoyot as the overall. Related families formed a clan. They had sacred places of worshiping and offering sacrifices. And next, education was informal, and elders imparted knowledge in youths. Number 19. Give features of coastal states. Give features of coastal city-states. How are they like the cities that developed along East African coast after the trade and happened there for long? You remember the trade that was happening there, that is the Indian Ocean trade. After it occurred for a very long time, it came to a point where the city or towns developed along the coastal line. Now we are looking at how was it in terms of characteristic. How are the people living there, the social life? Number one, Kiswahili was the language. Number two, Islam was the religion. Remember, many Islam came to that area, and also as a result of that, the Kiswahili language was the main language that was used there. They ate rice as the staple food. Remember, when we talk about rice, it usually comes from the countries in Asia. And remember, these are the people who are coming to East African coast for trading activities. Number 4, Arabic and Persian architectures were used in construction of houses. Next, trade was the main economic activity. Indian Ocean trade, as I have told you. They are also practiced spinning and weaving. Next, they fished on the Indian Ocean. The people were divided into Muslims and Africans. They were ruled by imams, sultans, and sheikhs. They were independent political entities. They minted and they used their own coin. They made their own money that they used there. And also, people wore woven silk clothes. That is what they used to wear on their bodies. That is the mode of dressing, wearing woven and silk clothes. Next, explain 6 reasons for the coming of European Christians missionaries in Kenya in 19th century. Why did European Christian missionaries came to Kenya in 19th century? Why do you think they came to Kenya? Number 1, they came to control Indian Ocean trade. They came to trade with the coastal towns. Number 2, they came to find a sea route to India. This was the main, we are told here. They were looking for another way which they could travel to India. Remember, they owned a territory in India. So they are saying this one was the main. Number 3, they came for exploration of the East African coast. They wanted to explore. That is what we call the spirit of adventure. They wanted to see what is behold their land. Next, they came to look for the legendary Christian King Prester John and form an anti-Muslim alliance with him. Next, they came to protect their trading interests, create a trading empire at the East African coast. Next, they came to make the place a refilling station where they would obtain fresh supplies, e.g. fruits. Next, they wanted to force the wealthy coastal merchants or stayed to pay taxes to Portugal. Next, the place was strategic for protection of Portuguese ships against the Turks and the Egyptians in the region. Go to number 20. We are moving very fast. We are almost done. Number 20A. Give 5 reasons why Africans were opposed to the British colonial ruler between 1920 to 1939. Why were they opposed? Number 1, their land was alienated. They were discriminated, segregated on a racial basis. The British introduced Kipande system. They resented forced labor. They were against some policies such as restocking a policy in the soil conservation. Next, they were taxed heavily. They were paid low wages. Let's go to number B. Let us deal with it, and it is here. Explain 5 methods used by African nationalists in Kenya in the struggle for independence. What methods do they use? This question is very common. Methods nationalists used in the struggle for independence. Number 1, the use of mass media such as newspapers like Coast African Express. Number 2, protest, e.g. Akamba trek to Nairobi. Next, writing and memorandums. Those are the 3 ways: mass media, protest, and writing memorandums. Then addressing protest letters to the governor, like the Taita Hills Association. So they could write a letter and forward them to the governor. Number 21. Let's see number 21. You're told to identify 5 methods that the colonial government used to discourage the activities of Mau Mau. This one should be Mau Mau. Number 1, during the war, the government moved scores of Kikuyu, Meru, and the Aimbu communities from Nairobi to the detention centers and reserves in a bid to cut the fighters off from their communities. Number 2, ditches were dug around the villages where they were detained so that they could not get food or any equipment to the guerrillas. Next, fighters of Mau Mau were dealt with ruthlessly to discourage others from joining. Bodies of those killed were displayed in villages. This is very inhuman. They also engaged spies among the Africans who reported on the movement of Mau Mau fighters. The spies, you remember very well, when the spies were caught by fellow Africans, they were brutally killed. They did not joke with them. They killed them brutally because they are the ones who are telling the Mzungu their secrets. Go to the next one. Europeans got reinforcement and fighting equipment from Britain to assist. And then the last one, they arrested and executed leaders of Mau Mau like Dedan Kimathi. Go to the next one. Explain 5 factors that led to the migration of Africans to the urban areas in Kenya during the colonial period. Factors that led, what made people to move from to urban centers? What made them to move to urban centers? Number 1, The overcrowded and unproductive reserves created by the colonial government made living conditions difficult, thereby resulting into migration to towns. So these areas, the reserves created by the colonial masters, were overcrowded. Very small place with very many people, and therefore they moved to towns. Next, the creation of facilities and other social amenities in urban centers attracted the Africans. Next, the taxes imposed on Africans forced them to towns in search for jobs, so they were looking for jobs in towns. Next, the towns had better infrastructure such as tarmac roads, which gave people better life. Next, widespread of poverty in the rural areas caused a lot of suffering. This forced people to move away into the towns. So these are the reasons that made people to move. Next, land alienation and pushed Africans into reserves, forcing them to seek alternative livelihood in towns. So their land was taken. They had to look for greener pastures, which could be urban centers. Africans or African entrepreneurs wanted to take advantage of market in towns by starting small-scale business. Next, there were jobs in towns with better wages than in rural areas. We are now going to section C. We said this section, it has that marks. You are given 3 questions, you answer 2. Each question, it has 15 marks. Question number 22, you are told to state 3 causes of conflict. What causes conflict? 1, differences among political parties over ideology or policies. Number 2, failure to uphold the laws of a country. Number 3, denial of citizen rights. Next, improper conduct of election. Next, border disputes between countries. Next, unequal allocation of economic resources. Go to the next one, dispute over natural resources. Next, differences between employers and workers. Next, differences over trading policies, e.g. tariffs among nations. Next, failure to adhere to contractual obligations. Next, religious differences among people. Next, cultural intolerance between communities. Next, influx of refugees from neighboring communities or countries leading to pressure on resources. Next, mistrust between family and community members. Next, tribalism, nepotism, and racism within a nation. Go to the next one. Describe the constitution making process in Kenya. When a student see this question in their exam, they panic. They fear this question. Not all of them, but some. They fear this question. The constitution making process in Kenya. How do you change or even make the constitution in Kenya? This is the process. You have to start with the civic education, making the people aware of the need to have a new constitution. You teach them why you want to change the constitution, or you want to come up with a new constitution. Then you collect views from public about their wishes. What do they want? What do they want the new constitution to be like? Next, you document or documentation of people's views and the publication of the draft. That is the third step. You document what they have told you or their views. Next, holding of public hearing throughout the country so as to get the people's view Next step, holding the national constitutional conferences for delegates, MPs, and commissioners. Next, the draft constitution is taken to the parliament for discussion and thereafter published by Attorney General. Next, the referendum is held and then it is passed. If passed, that draft constitution, if it is passed by the parliament, it is taken to Attorney General, who takes it to the parliament for approval. You can see the process. Thereafter, it receives presidential assent or the signing by the president. Then the final one. Thereafter, it receives the final step is promulgation, where president present it to the people like the Kibaki did in 2010. So that is the process. Do not fear it. All you need to know is to make a summary of your own language that you can understand. From the first step to the last step, you make a short summary, then you remind yourself. After that, you can write the question, try to answer it without looking at your summary and see whether you can be able to answer. Repeat the action until repeat the steps until you are sure you can answer that question and get 12 marks. Number 23, state 5 functions of the cabinet in Kenya. What is the work of the cabinet? They appear before a committee of National Assembly or Senate when required by the committee and answer questions pertaining various ministries. Number 2, they provide the parliament with full and regular reports concerning matters under their control. Next, they assist and advises the president on day-to-day running of the government. Next, they chart out and lay down guidelines on Kenya domestic and foreign policy. Next, they discuss matters of national and international importance. They expound government policies. Next, they ensure government policy is implemented by civil servants. Next question, explain 5 challenges facing the Kenya Defence Forces. Wanapitia shida gani? What are some of the problems that are faced by the Kenya Defence Forces? There has been cases of indiscipline, such as abortive coup attempt in 1982. But 2, there have been rampant cases of corruption facing the members of the Kenya Defence Forces, especially on matters of recruitment of new members. Next, tribalism, regionalism, and nepotism have also been experienced in the Kenyan Defence Forces, thereby demoralizing hard-working officers who are left out unfairly during promotions. Next, sometimes the Kenyan Defence Forces, the problem of lack of adequate funds to equip the forces with the good equipment to facilitate their work. Next, the majority of the military personnel are not provided with opportunities to acquire further education. Next, piracy, the militia attack and raids at Kenya borders also present a major security challenge to defense forces. Invasion of Kenya territorial waters by foreign fishermen and foreign fishing vessels from the big nations challenges the ability of the Kenyan Navy to curb illegal fishing. Next, the location of Moi Air Base at Sili present a big challenge to the Air Force. The air base was built by Britain in 1964 when the population in the area was scarce. Today, the area has human congestion. Next, the defense forces also face challenges related to violation of human rights. Number 24. Identify 3 ways in which Harambee philosophy contributed to the national unity in Kenya. How did Harambee's philosophy contribute to national unity in Kenya? Number 1, it encouraged people to work together, but to promote cooperation. Next, to promote equity in the distribution of resources. Next, it enhances interaction of the people. Next, it promotes patriotism. Next, discuss 6 impacts of Nyayo philosophy. These are the question on philosophy and county government. You most likely you might get a question out of that in this year KCSE, so you better understand on philosophies. We have the 3 philosophies. We have nationalism, we have Nyayo philosophy, and the third one is nationalism. Is it nationalism? Write them in the comment section. I think I've forgotten some. Write for us the 3 philosophies that we have been having in Kenya since independence, from the first one to the last one. So what are the 6 impacts of Nyayo philosophy? Number 1, education has been promoted through philosophies like the Harambee. Next, medical services have been improved. Next, cooperation, understanding and unity has been encouraged. Philosophies have promoted the spiritual and social welfare. Next, through Harambee spirit, the flight of persons with disabilities and other disadvantaged groups has been looked into. The philosophies have promoted African culture. We go to the next one. Self-reliance and Africanization process through which the people of Kenya are able to take over from foreigners. Due to the policy of pulling together resources and the spirit of cooperation, it has African socialism, cooperation and societies have been formed. Transport and communication has been improved through African socialism. The agricultural sectors has been boosted by the philosophies. The pillar of Nyayoism have created conducive atmosphere for the growth of tourism and foreign investment. Philosophies have promoted nationalism and patriotism in the country. African socialism has encouraged the democratization process as it champions for the political equality. And then the last, it has promoted international cooperation and understanding. This paper was very long, but finally we are through with it. We thank you so much for watching up to the end, and we have requested you to write a comment down here concerning any question which we have dealt with in this paper. You can also write your opinion or maybe a comment or request something from us, and we shall do exactly that. If you have not subscribed, take a few seconds, subscribe to our channel, like this video and turn on notification. Why should you turn on notification? Because when we upload a video like this one, YouTube can easily inform you, and then you can come and watch and benefit out of our educational programs. And also, as we said, we have other subjects videos here. All subjects, we have uploaded them in this channel for you to benefit out of this work that we are doing. We have also done questions on the set books, the Kiswahili set books and the English set books, you can come here and benefit out of that work. Thank you so much, and we wish you good luck as you revise and continue and doing your studies. Until next time, we wish you a nice time.